So welcome back to the Pach-Attack. From the forums, we have a question from Ryuji76. Dear Michael, what percentage of the budget for video games goes to programmers, low to high? This is more of a personal inquiry for a self-starting indie game. Video game development is typically budgeted about 20% of total sales. It's higher if the game doesn't sell well, and it's lower if the game sells super well. So, you can have a $100 million budget on Call of Duty and do $1 billion in sales, and it's 10% of sales. Most games, like I said, have a budget of about 20 million, and they're budgeted to do about 100 million in sales, so 20%. All of that development budget goes to the programmers. So, obviously there's a little bit of office occupancy and computer costs, but that's really small, relative to their compensation. These guys sit in cubicles, so the rent, and the utilities, we're talking about, $1,000 a year, and these guys make $100,000 a year. So 20% of, not the budget, 20% of revenue goes to them. 100% of the budget, essentially. The only thing that goes into game development that isn't paid to the programmers is royalties paid to whoever owns the intellectual property. So if you're working on the FIFA game, it's probably a pretty good thing that EA pays FIFA their royalty, because if they didn't, you would be unemployed. So I think the guys that work on FIFA are okay with FIFA getting some of the money. If you work on the Lady Gaga game, then obviously Lady Gaga is the reason it's going to sell. Kyle is going to be in the Lady Gaga game. All right, from the forums, we got a question from Brandon. That's an original name. I like Brandon. Good for you, Brandon. Hey, Mr. P, what do you think of the video game sales tracking site VG Charts? Ooh, God, loaded question. All right, the VG Charts guys are awesome dudes. I like them a lot. They're super, super nice guys. They came up with a really great concept. They essentially do spy work. So what they do is they get out there and they talk to everybody. They used to talk to me. They don't anymore, because I basically told them no way. But they would actually try to poach NPD numbers and post US numbers. They try to poach chart track numbers and post European numbers. They talk to people in Japan. They have a whole network of people who work at retail who tell them how many pre-orders they got per store. They kind of extrapolate. I think they generally do a really good job of forecasting. I will say that they do something that I don't find particularly above board. I don't think it's illegal by any means, but they have kind of a revisionist recollection. So what you'll see is they'll post like a preview of some number, and then their actual number will be, completely different. And they'll update their actual numbers as they get better information. They just don't quite ever acknowledge that the numbers changed. So I would say if you're looking at 2012 and prior data, VG Charts is really reliable. They spend all their time going over every piece of published information about every game sale, everything. 2012 and prior, they're absolutely dependable. 2013 will be good data when it's 2014. It's not usually that great during the year. So again, if you want to know like how many PS2s were sold, it's on there and it's right. Those guys actually do a fine job. I look at it myself all the time. I actually, the reason I said this thing about revisionist recollection is I remember I did an industry report in 2009, and I went back and looked at VG Charts for 2008-76, and I kind of compared their numbers to my numbers, and we were pretty close. I was revising my 2006, 7, 8, 9 projections, actuals recently for an updated report, and I went back to VG Charts, and the numbers on VG Charts had dramatically changed for 2008. I've since been doing it and looking, and they change all the time. But I think for older stuff, they're really, really good. So if you're curious about numbers, they're pretty comprehensive. It's an easy to use site, easy to search, so I like them a lot, and they're really super nice guys. A question from Twitter from @ContraSujeto. Hi, Pac. Talk about this guitar behind you. Can you play a little guitar riff during your show? Well, first of all, I haven't even pulled the plastic off of the this. It's protected plastic, because I have a feeling this is going to be worth like gajillions of dollars someday. This is not a real guitar. Well, actually, I take that back. This is a real guitar made by Fender. Made by Fender for harmonics and marketed by Mad Catz, if you remember Mad Catz. And this Fender, a real Strat, they took the guts of the guitar out and they put Guitar Hero controls on it. So I can play it, but it doesn't sound very good. How's the wah-wah doing? So no strings, not gonna play it. It's a prop. I got it as a gift. And I'm hoping that, 100 years from now, when nobody remembers what Guitar Hero is, this will be a curiosity. So I left the plastic on. It's got some dust on it. I've never even opened up the little battery thing to put a battery in. Shows you how much into Guitar Hero I was, see? No batteries. But anyway, this could have been a guitar. I think this thing retailed for a lot. I think this was like 300 bucks or something. Do you guys remember these? Did you ever see one? They didn't give me the thing, what do you call it? The sash thing over your back, the strap. Yeah, I don't have a strap. I have no strings. But it's in tune. It's perfectly in tune.
Yeah. John's finger will make it sound great.
Oh yeah? So you can get the wah-wah going? Probably should be playing down by the pickup center. What do you think? Oh, all the way down? Okay. Pretty funny, my guitar. You know what's so funny is they ask me about my guitar, but they don't ask me about my Nintendo DS headset that I also never pulled out of the case. Because I couldn't figure out who I was going to talk to. Do you guys have one of these? I mean, how many years old is this? Like 6, 8?
2004.
Yeah, this is old. I never opened it because I don't really want a headset. Copyright 2007, baby.
Wow.
Yeah, I can't believe I didn't take. See, this will be a collector's item someday. I think this came with Pokemon with an accent over the E. Diamond and Pokemon Pearl. Remember those? You do.
Yeah.
You're a total Pokemon geek. Weren't you surprised, by the way, when you read about the virtual store and the cloud, and you could keep all your Pokemon characters in the cloud? Were you surprised there were 3,000 of them? I thought there was like 1,200.
Well, the 3,000 you can store. You can store more than up to one of the same guy.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought there were 3,000 characters.
There's going to be over like 600, I think, after the game.
Okay, because I thought I had read 1,200, and then I saw you could store 3,000 characters. I'm like, 3,000 Pokemon characters? That's like, how many years did that take you to find them all, to unlock them all? Come on, dude, that's like a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work.
It's much less than that, but collectors like to have like 8 of the same guy.
Can you get them like different colors?
You breed them.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Can you breed like a black one and a white one and he comes out striped, or no?
No, nothing that cool.
Oh.
You like, I don't know, we won't get into it. We got an hour.
I want to know how you breed them. Is it an E-rated breeding process, or is it M-rated?
It's really funny. They're just like, oh, an egg appeared, but you don't know how that egg got to be.
And you don't know how if it got fertilized or not.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't know.
You don't know.
Might not have been.
They kind of just wink about it, and that's it.
That's good, though. They're born from eggs. Okay. All right, fellow babies. Thanks for joining us once again on this week's edition of Pach-Attack. If you have a question for me, you can submit it to the link below. If you'd like to ask me a question on Twitter, send it to @MichaelPachter, copy @GameTrailers, and apply the hashtag AskPach. And we will answer every question we can get to. I will send you a direct message and answer your question directly if you follow me on Twitter @MichaelPachter. Thanks very much for joining us. He looks like Lady Gaga, kind of, don't you think? Okay, Finger, I challenge you. I want to see Kyle as Lady Gaga. Do it. You can do it. Actually, if you can't make him Lady Gaga, let's look at Kyle and Lady Gaga's love child. Let's blend them together and figure out what that looks like. There, we got through the whole thing. Yeah. If you'd like to follow more of our stuff on GameTrailers, we have links to YouTube on the side of the screen. I'm not sure which side, but one of those sides. Maybe that side. Just a guess. I had to think about it. I can't remember where they are, right or left.
Oh, you nailed it. Yeah.
Yeah, I had to think about the picture.